Hey guys, my name is Kristen Hankins. I am a senior executive team leader with Usborne Books and More, and I'm coming at you today to talk about book drives. Book drives are one of my most favorite things to do with my business. And the funny thing is that when I started working with Usborne Books and More, I had no idea that I would be able to give to charities and impact my local communities the way that I have since I started. So I do 2 book drives a year. That means this is about to be book drive number 7. Can you imagine? I think that puts me somewhere around $10,000 in books that I've been able to donate in the time that I've been with Usborne. I just can't believe it. I'm shocked. And I have to tell you guys, no matter how many times I do book drives, it doesn't change how nervous I feel when I get started. So I still understand, if this is your first one, how nervous you might be feeling when it comes time to get started and you're about to message your first couple of people and you're really, I don't know, kind of scared what they're going to say and if it's going to fail or if it's going to go well. But I have a ton of great info to share with you, and if you take my advice, if you trust me, I promise you are going to have a successful book drive, no doubt. So let's dive right in. First, let's talk about why we do book drives. There are so many great reasons to do a book drive. Obviously, the most awesome one is to give back to your local community, to be able to help hospitals, hospice centers, child care places, foster families, domestic violence shelters. There are so many different places in your community that can definitely use new books. For kids, sometimes they're in a really bad situation and something that they can own, something they can call theirs, something that is just gifted to them for no reason can really change their day. It can make their whole month. And so the gift of a book, I mean, you're giving them a whole new world when you give a child a book. So definitely that is one of the best reasons ever to do a book drive. Another reason is we usually do them as a team. So I get my whole team together and we all do book drives in the same month. And at the end of the month, we tally up how much we raised together and we take a look at the impact that we had on kids. If we donate $10,000 in books as a team in 1 month at an average of $10 per book, I don't know, what is that, 1,000 books? I can't math in my head anymore. I've had too many kids and they took all my brain cells with them. But anyways, it is so much fun to do as a team and just to know that we all have one common focus this month, and that's giving back to our local communities. And in that month alone, we're making a huge impact on the whole country because we're all over the country, and that to me is awesome. Now, finally, the selfish reason, but really good reason still, is that book drives can provide you with really quick sales. If you raise $1,000 in 24 hours, then there's a big part of your month one if you're trying to promote. Or there's HOC one, or you can meet one of the Write Your Own Success Story goals. No matter what your goal is, if you're falling short 1 month, then a book drive can definitely help boost you over that goal. And really quickly, I might add. So, who do we do book drives for? Now, that's going to be different for each of us because it is best to choose a charity or organization that's near and dear to your heart. If there is a place that you have personal experience with, or maybe someone in your family or a close friend has personal experience with, and you feel they could use some new books, that personal touch really can motivate you and help you maintain your drive through your book drive and help you meet your goal. And not to mention that when you are reaching out to your friends and family, that shows. They can see that you are excited to be able to help this organization. And when you're posting about it on your wall, people can learn more about your story. They may be enlightened to learn more about the organization that you're raising books for. And so, if at all possible, it is best and it is ideal to choose a charity that has a personal significance to you. Now, before you start your book drive, you need to contact the charity that you have in mind and ask them if it is okay to raise books for them. because sometimes they are overflowing with books already. I have heard some hospitals say that when they have too many, if they have to put their books in storage, they risk getting moldy or mildewy, and then they can't use them inside the hospital. So you definitely want to ask first if they can use some new books. And also, when you do get permission, you can ask them for their tax-exempt certificate from the state. Now, you may live in a state where you can't do tax-exempt, and that's okay. But if you live in a state that does honor tax-exempt, then go ahead and get their tax-exempt certificate, and then when you order the books, you can have the tax removed and get more books for your donations. Now, step 2 in your book drive is setting a goal. Go ahead and set your goal high. I know that $1,000 might seem unrealistic, but you can absolutely raise $1,000. And if you fall a little bit short, say you only raise $600, that is still a lot of books, especially with Usborne's 50% match. Now that starts at $250 in books. So if you raise $250 in books, Usborne's going to give you another $125 in books. Awesome. If you raise $1,000, Usborne's still going to give you a 50% match. So that's another $500 in books. Guess what though? It doesn't stop there. If you happen to raise $4,000, Usborne is still going to match 50% and give you an extra $2,000 in books. Crazy, right? So shoot high, because obviously the more you raise, the more the match is going to be, the more you can donate, the more kids you're able to touch through your book drive. Shoot high, okay? So you got your goal set and you know about the 50% match. Now set your timeline. I always do my book drives either 24 hours or 48 hours. I don't recommend dragging it out. People really need a deadline so that they know there's a sense of urgency along with it, and they don't keep putting off their donation or paying however you have set up for them to pay. So I always do 24 hours or 48 hours. These days I lean more towards 24. I don't have as much time to devote to it anymore, so I try to give myself one day to sit down and do all of the work, all the part that's work for me, which is the messaging. So in one day I want to get all of my messages out, and that way the next day I'm just responding to people, reminding people if they said they're going to pay and they haven't yet. I prefer to do my book drives on Thursday and Friday, and that is because I think the weekend kind of acts as a buffer. If I know people can be really busy during the week if they get off work and they're rushing kids to sports, and then they got to get home and they make dinner, and then they finally sit down and the last thing they remember to do is to check their email. So I like Thursday and Friday, because then if I need to send more reminders over the weekend, people are less busy. They might have more time to go ahead and take care of that. And then Monday, I've got all the money and I can place the order. How do you collect money? First, decide a donation amount. I like to ask for $25, and I usually try to give some kind of fun challenge for $100 donations. So with a $25 donation amount, that's easy to break down. If your goal is $1,000, then you're looking for 40 people to donate $25 each. I did a book drive one time where I said for every $100 donation that came in, I will let my kids pie me in the face. And then I went live and I got 3 pies in the face. It was my first time and it was kind of fun. But anyways, people loved it. It was a lot of fun. And I'm already trying to think about what my next kind of challenge could be. Maybe having to dance on camera, because I'm really bad at dancing. But we'll see. I'll think of something fun. Anyways, when you have your donation amount, that gives you a way to ask for money. I know that it feels strange to ask for money, but that is the key to a successful book drive. If there's only one tip you walk away from this video with, it is that you absolutely have to send personal messages and ask people to donate. Don't ever, whether you're inviting to a party or doing a book drive, never ever use the words "let me know," because nobody is going to let you know anything. You have to ask people for what you want. If they don't know why you're messaging them, they're not going to answer you. All of the soliciting, I guess you could say, is done through private messaging for me. You can call family and friends, you can text them, you can see them face to face. Usually my husband will tell his coworkers about it face to face, and sometimes he'll bring home pockets full of money for me, and that's pretty awesome too. So definitely get your spouse on board, get your family on board. If they have a couple people they know like to give back to their community, they might want to help you collect some donations. When I personally message people, I usually say something really short and sweet and to the point. I like to tell people who I'm raising money for. I like to tell them about the match. I tell them what I'm asking for and how long they have, and then I ask them if they'd like to donate. One place I've raised money, I've raised books for, is Edmark, and that was a mobile hospice for children where I lived. We just moved to Savannah. My house is a mess, so sorry there's nothing cool in the background. We've only been here for a couple weeks. But anyways, I might say something like, "Hi Sharon, it's book drive time. I'm raising money to buy books for Edmark Mobile Hospice, which is local to me here in Virginia. And they treat children even if the parents can't afford to pay. And not only do they treat those kiddos, they take them books and stuffed animals to cheer them up when they go for their appointments. So I'm raising money to donate more books to them and help them with this awesome cause. I am looking for 40 people to donate $25 today. I know how much you love to give back to your community. Would you like to help?" And then they can just say yes or no. Sometimes if I'm doing a challenge, I'll even say, "My kids get to pie me for every $100 donation that comes in." I might make a joke out of it and say, "Wink, wink, when I give $100, you never know." But definitely message every single person you know. I like to start out with what I call green light messaging. And that's when you get on Messenger or when you're on Facebook on a computer, you can see who's online and active right now. Now, those people, the message is just going to open right up and they're going to see it. So I like to start with those people when I sit down. And now, once I get through those people, I will just switch over. I'll open my friends list, start at the top, and work my way down. I take some breaks because you don't want to land in Facebook jail, especially for copying and pasting the same message over and over and over again. So I do tweak them a little bit. Sometimes, a lot of times, I'll start out just saying, "Hey, how are you doing? Your kids are getting so big so fast," before I dive into the message. I like to reconnect a little bit. Definitely when I have more time, I'll do things like that. And it's always nice to get back in touch with people and they like that you thought of them and that you didn't jump right into a sales pitch right away. I definitely expect between 1 and 2 messages or donations for every 10 messages that I send. So that shows you that you have to send a lot of messages to reach your goal. I also post on my Facebook wall. Now, like a week before I start my book drive, I'll usually post and say, "I'm only 1 week away from my book drive. You're going to see lots and lots of posts to tell you all about such and such organization, and I'm going to share literacy tips and more, so be on the lookout." And then the 2 days of my book drive, or the 1 day of my book drive, I try to post every hour. And I post graphics always because I think people stop to look at those more than they stop to look at long paragraphs of text. So I usually post information about the charity, statistics about, if I'm doing a Cuddle Bear drive, then I might post statistics about childhood cancers, ways that you can help. I post information about literacy and how book ownership matters and things like that. And I also post a thank you for every person who donates, and I update my goal. So I'll say how far I am from my goal. Maybe I'm $500 to my goal, or maybe I only need 20 more people to donate $25 each. And that way, when people get on Facebook and they're just scrolling their newsfeed, they're more likely to see it if they haven't checked their messages yet, or maybe you haven't gotten to them yet. Or I make those posts public so that people can share them also, and so that when I tag people, their friends see the post, and you might get a couple of donations that way as well. Okay, so you're not limited to Facebook messaging. You can call people, you can text people, you can talk to people about it when you're out and about that day. You can also seek businesses from donations. Now, donations from businesses. When I talk to a business, I'm asking for a $100 donation. And you can call them, you can email them, but definitely the best way is to just go in, especially your local mom and pop businesses. They're more likely to be able to donate on the spot. They have less red tape to cut through. So take $150 of books with you and show them how far their donation will go and how many kids their donation can help. They can see the quality of what you're giving, and they hopefully trust you that you are doing what you say you're going to do. Maybe you've got a brochure from the organization to show them what it is, but chances are if it's local, they've already heard about it. It might be an organization they often help and donate money to or supplies. So definitely ask businesses for donations as well. I don't get a ton of donations through businesses, but sometimes I do, and it's always worth it. Now, let's talk about collecting the money. There are several different ways that you can collect money for your book drive. One of them is cash and check. If you're going to allow people to mail you checks, you just want to do your book drive. You want to time it just right so their check has time to reach you and you can deposit it or cash it. Same with cash. You want to be able to put it in your bank account so that you can pay for the order. You also have websites like PayPal and Square. Now, these websites do charge a fee. With Square, you can get $1,000 in free processing if you send out a referral and someone uses it. Now, the last book drive that I did, Square was so convenient. I sent everyone an invoice. I had the free processing, so it didn't take any fees out. And it was just very user-friendly, very easy. Some people prefer to send me PayPal or cash or check, and that's fine, especially cash and check because they're fee-free. You can set up links on sites like UCaring and GoFundMe. Now, those also operate through WePay or PayPal, and so they will take a fee. That's okay. Sometimes the convenience is worth it. You can choose to let that fee come out of the donations. That's fine. You can pay it if you would like to make sure your books go as far as they possibly can. That's totally up to you. Now, another way that you can collect money is just when you put the order in OrderPro, you can call each person and get their credit card information and put it in manually. If you do it that way, then you also don't have any fees to pay. You just have a little bit of legwork to do to get in touch with each person and get their credit card information. All right, so just to recap what we've talked about so far, we have talked about why we do book drives, obviously to give back tremendously to our community, for quick sales if you have a goal to reach, and just something that we can unite and do together as a team. Who can you do a book drive for? Any charity, any family, foster care, facilities, shelters, tons of places need books. Just be sure to get their permission first. And if you live in a state that allows you to do tax exempt, then get their tax exempt form as well. Set your goal high, set it in advance. Decide if your drive is going to last 24 hours or 48 hours. How will you do your drive? Personal contact. Cannot stress it enough. Now, this absolutely will make or break your book drive. If you personally reach out to everybody that you know, I know that sounds very intimidating, but it is worth it to see everyone come together. If you take the time, you overcome that fear, and you reach out to everyone you know, you will have a successful book drive. Make sure your message is short and sweet. I know you want to tell them all about your amazing organization and how awesome these books are and how much they can help. But not to be ugly, people don't have time. They're not going to read it all. It's best to be short and sweet, straight to the point. Tell them who you're raising books for and how those people can help. And be sure to end with a question asking them to donate. You can post about it on Facebook, but don't rely on getting your donations that way. I post about it as just a for fun and informational kind of thing, especially because the people I'm personally messaging, I'm going to message everybody I know. So everyone is going to already know about the drive, and then the posting is going to give them more information if they'd like to learn more. And also they can share those posts to help even further. Remember to call people and text people who are not on Facebook but will probably want to help. Share your goal with them. Check out local businesses, especially small businesses. and decide in advance how you're going to collect your money so that you can have that all set up and ready to go. Now, congratulations on your decision to try out a book drive with Usborne Books and More. If this is not your first book drive, I'm so glad you took the time to listen in and get a refresher, because it's always good to get a reminder, a refresher of the best way to do things, and just to have that renewed spirit and energy and excitement about it. So good luck, and I hope you have fun, and I can't wait to hear how much you're able to give back to the children in your community.